Hey everyone, welcome to another ASP instructional video. In this video I am going to run through how you control ASP using the 9XR Pro and the 9XR Pro template. So if you're using the 9XR Pro, this is how all the buttons work to control ASP. Okay, so let's have a look, otherwise we'll go on for quite a while, lots to go through. First thing, whenever you've got these proper hobby systems, you must turn your radio on first, so we'll do that. Now, as you hear, the 9XR Pro has voice prompts. So again, now you can change those. I have got tank voices, but they'll be available for download a little bit later. Okay, when you've turned on, you've got to make sure that all the settings here are reading neutral. So there shouldn't be any bars there, with the exception of channel 6, your volume setting. Okay, put that at where you want your volume to start with. And I want it pretty low, so I'm going to turn it down to close to neutral there. Okay, so your radio is on. Now let's turn ASP on. Okay, now it's in IR mode. As it goes through IR mode, you might hear there. Okay, with the startup in IR mode, you'll hear that there was a intro music loop that started, and then when Mako finished programming or went through programming mode, there was a ready to start message. Okay, as with any sound, as I said, you can change those sounds. The loop is on module B, and the startup sound is on, well, the voice prompt is on module A. So if both of those sounds happen, you know that your sound modules are working. Also too, you'll know because we've got headlights flashing that the system is ready to turn on. Now you have 4 options to turn on the tank, and depending on which option will give you a different startup sound. And startup is done on these 2 switches with the 9XR Pro. Everyone remember, this is for the 9XR Pro. Okay, up is sound 1 on this switch, up is sound 2 on that switch, down is sound 3, and down is sound 4. So let's try out sound 2. So we just flip that up and back. And then whatever sound you have programmed in that spot will come up. Should have picked a shorter sound. Okay, so the tank has started up. When the tank starts up, of course, the smoke machine will turn on. Okay. Now, to stop that, okay, we go back to these switches. Okay, now those switches operate for startup, but when the unit is started up, they operate a bit differently. This controls a bit of your switching. Okay, they control your switching. So to turn your smoke machine off, okay, it's up on this switch. Okay, this switch also controls your auxiliary light. So you push it down. Maybe you can hear those the sound clicks, and back to control your auxiliary light. To control your headlight, turn that on and off. Bring the headlight into position here. There we go. To turn your headlight on and off, just down and back. To turn it back on again, so that toggles your headlight. Okay, that's those 2 switches. These 2 switches at the back here control your fire. Okay, this fires a normal round. Okay, now for every single setup, I've given you an extra little bit here. You have 5 rounds of high explosive or armor piercing, whichever way you want to look at it. Anyway, to me, a 2-shot kill code is fired with this switch, and you only have 5 rounds of that in your magazine, so you can use that sparingly. Okay, that should kill a Tamiya tank in 2 shots. Okay, so normal round, high explosive round, or the 2-shot kill round on those 2 switches. Your volume control knob is here and down. Okay, so you control your volume using this knob here. Turn it down a bit more. We'll stay on this side so we can move to the other side. This is, of course, your throttle channel. So So that controls the tank forward and backwards. That's pretty obvious. Okay. Now we'll move across to the other side. This pot here is free, so you can put anything you want on that pot. This pot here actually controls switching between your user sound banks. Okay, when we put it fully this way, turn it fully this way, and trigger a sound by pulling this switch forward. Oops, pushing this switch back. I don't even know how to set this up. Okay, if the motor is in neutral, it will rev the engine. Okay, that's selecting that part of the sound bank. If you want to swap the sound, just rotate this knob fully that side and go again. And on the German tanks, it'll play Panzerlied. Okay. Now, having said that, there are 4 different versions of that track on the sound card, and it randomly picks one of the 4. So if we start it up again, I might turn the volume up a little. Okay, you hear it's a different Panzerlied song because there's 4 on there, as I just said. So turn that off. Want to see if it'll randomly pick another one. Okay, so that's doing that one. Okay, so that's your sound switch, pushing it back and forward, and you can select between 2 different sound banks by rotating this knob. This goes back to the rev. Again, there's also 4 rev sounds, and and ASP will choose randomly one of the 4 rev sounds. Okay, sticking with this switch, as I saw when I stuffed up, moving it forward, fires machine gun 2. The switch at the back here fires machine gun 1. Okay, so machine gun 1, machine gun 2. Okay, and this switch here, because you have the 3 position switch mod done, I should have stated that earlier. This radio is done for a customer. Mike, this is actually your radio, and I have done modified all the switches to 3 position switches. Okay, which is the best thing to do with the Pro. Okay, so that side triggers your sound, and that side triggers your machine gun sound selection switch. This switch here, battery's going off. I'll go on. This one here again is your other sound sets. Okay, now I've actually got this music that triggers another user sound, pushing it up. I don't know if you can hear some intro music playing there. Turn that off, and down triggers the 4th lot of your user sounds. Okay, I've put various hits on there. That's particularly for IR people, because you don't have IR battle, you won't get your explosions. So if you're using airsoft, sorry, this is for airsoft users. Since you don't have IR, you won't have your explosions. So again, 4 different explosion sounds that are randomly chosen by ASP, including the machine gun hit sound. Okay, so that's basically all the switches. This, your turret and your elevation. Okay, that's pretty standard. Okay, now whilst the video is just got a minute to go before it goes over 10, I'll just run through with you all the other connections. Okay, we've seen this in another video. Your recoil servo connection. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so that's in operation. You've got if you plug a servo into channel 8, the spare channel, that is your elevation servo. Okay, so you see that working. I hope you saw that working. Okay, now the other thing, your Canon flash, or actually, no, we'll look at this first. We'll look at, if you've got one of these recoil units, okay, you just wire it up like so. There'll be instructions, and that goes into the recoil motor connection. So we'll look at the operation of one of these recoils. These recoils can be a bit problematic, so I'm not even sure if this is going to work. If it doesn't work, well, we'll see. There we go. Can you see that? Okay, so once you plug that in there, it's got support for this type of recoil mechanism. Oops. Okay, he works, so we'll unplug him. Okay, and of course you've got your hammerhead here, and once the reload period is over, it will flash. Now, we've also got the connection for your high tension flash. Fire him, and he works and all that. Okay, the only other thing I'll quickly show you is killing off your tank. And of course I should have prepared this a little bit earlier. So this is going to be a long video, so please bear with me, I've got a Mako connected up here to another Piranha unit, and that will fire now at our tank. Again, a whole range of different explosion sounds, and ASP randomly chooses them, so you're not stuck with the same explosion sounds. So here we go, let's kill the tank off. One hit. I think this is set on a medium tank. Now hear that bounce? Okay, your bounce or your ricochets, they will only happen if the damage of your tank is below 50. Even though you might hear the ricochet sound, your tank is still damaged, okay? That's hit number 3. I should put that in the picture there so you can see it flash. Hit number 4, and this will be your death hit, final hit. Okay, the tank explodes, and you'll hear there that the tank is on fire. So the tank will burn for a bit, and then when it's finished burning, the unit will completely restart. I've decided through popular opinion that's what everyone wants, so the unit will restart there. You hear the intro music start back up, and when the voice prompt tells you it's ready to go and your headlight is back flashing, you can just start the tank up again. Let's use sound, this sound. Let's go down on this one. Okay, we hear a different startup sound. And there we have it, and off you go. And of course our smoke machine, everything resets, so your smoke machine will be back on again. Okay, so that's using ASP with your 9XR Pro, what all the buttons do. I think I've covered them all. So yeah, good luck with that. Thanks.